Hi, welcome to episode 5 of Stitch with Schknitz. I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for today's video. I have so many ideas that I am planning in the future. However, I need to prep some things. So for this week, I was trying to think, what could I do that doesn't require prep? Because I am working on sort of testing some patterns and finishing some things for my monthly stitch inspiration, which is my goals for each month that I want to wait until next week. So I thought, what should I do? And I have a whole bunch of patterns, as many of us do, that I have not made yet that I've purchased or I have favorited or in my queue, pinned on Pinterest, in my Etsy cart, just on my computer that I bought from Etsy. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a video of a start to finish project. And I didn't know what to start with. I thought I would do a plushie. So I made a roulette wheel to spin, and we're going to play a little bit of Wheel of Pattern. And this will be the first time I'm doing this. So what I did is I put in a bunch of animals and um, and then put it into, like, there's websites you can go on and make a wheel and you can spin it and it'll randomize what comes up. And I just decided whatever animal comes up, I'm going to go in my patterns or my cart, my queue, my pins, and find something of that animal and just make it from start to finish. And my goals are that I must use yarn I already have, and that I want to time myself and just see and just start to finish. Do not do anything else, because right now I have yarn ADD, and, or I should say project ADD, and I'm just starting projects like crazy and not finishing anything. So I want to just make myself do it and get it done. So let's spin the wheel of patterns and see what we get. Okay, let's spin the wheel of patterns. And what do we get? Oh, oh, chicken. Very fun. Okay, so we got chicken. I have so many cute chicken patterns. I don't know what it is with chickens, but they are just adorable to stitch, either knitting or crocheting. I've actually made chickens before and chicks and different things, but I do have a bunch of patterns that I've wanted to try. I should say that all of the animal names I picked on the wheel, I went through some of my patterns, and they're all animals that I had patterns for. So I might save that wheel and do another one of these. I want to try to maybe do one where I make more than one thing, but I'm dipping my toe in the water and just picking one at this point. Um, I didn't have my glasses on because there's a little bit of a glare, but I do need to read right now. So we're going to put that on. So apologies for the glare. I actually had an awful headache today, so I was looking a little rough. You could probably see around my eyes, so bear with me. I think it's better. My glasses kind of hide the fact that I wasn't feeling well, but I am better now. So I went through, and it was very interesting because last week I had a bunch of things in my Etsy cart that have been sitting there. And one of them was a chicken pattern. It was actually a bundled 2 pattern bundle. And I just bought it. So I thought, perfect, I'm going to make this guy. The pattern is called Cooper the Chicken, and the bundle that I bought, you could either buy it as a plushie or a lovey. If you don't know the difference between those two, like a stuffy or a plushie is a stuffed animal that's, his whole body is filled with um, fluff, like the polyfill. So it's an actual stuffed animal. A lovey is more something you would give to a younger child. You may have seen they have a head that's stuffed, but the rest of the body is just floppy and not filled. So I thought it was really cute. It was a good price to get both of them in the bundle, and it's by the Cozy Stitch. The patterns are so cute. I've never done one by this designer, but I'm very excited because there's a lot of cute ones on there. So I'm very excited to try this one. So Cooper, the chicken, I'm doing the lovey just because I think he's so cute and I wanted to try him out. So this is what he looks like. And I have printed the pattern and I went through my stash. And you know, of course, when you have tons of stash, there's always one color that, you know, isn't exactly what you want. But I think I found two different options and decided what option I'm using. I'm going to do this color. I don't know what this Millhouse is. Millhouse Super Bulky. It does call for super bulky yarn. So I'm going to do this as the body. So like a gray chicken. For his legs and his beak, I'm going to do this color. So those two together. And I kind of like how he's kind of muted. The colors are sort of like muted and there's not a lot of contrast between them. So I know normally you try to have a little contrast, but everything else I had, like any of the reds for his, you know, crown, just looked too bright and ridiculous next to these colors. So I found this pink in my stash. Some of this stuff I don't even like. I don't know what this is. This might be Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick, I think. But I'm gonna do this pink color. I just think this will be cute for the chicken, but we'll see. I do have some other yarn, if I like this, that I can use to do some different colors already. So if I really like it, I'll make two guys. But right now the goal is to get one project finished. So let's get started.
So this is a pretty, no pun intended, but a pretty good game of yarn chicken here. That is it. That's all I had left. Maybe a yard and a half. Phew. Oh my gosh, I was wrong. I almost really did fail at yarn chicken. I had an extra piece that I cut off because I had a knot. Thank God, because it was half of the tail that I didn't realize I had to do a tail in this color. So literally used every single gram of yarn in that skein. Yikes. But I made it. He's done. Yay. Or she's, no, it's a rooster. He's done. Cooper's done. Whew.
Okay, finished Cooper the chicken, the lovey version. Let's do a little breakdown of the project. So there are two versions. You can do a low sew or you can sew the limbs on. And also you could use safety eyes or you can embroider them. And I chose to do the low sew and the safety eyes, which normally I would not do that because a lovey is usually for a young child. So any child 3 and under, you shouldn't use safety eyes. Um, it recommends sewing on the beak first when you do the low sew method, and so you can center the wings. Next time, I think I'd either sew on the limbs or do the low sew version with embroidered eyes and not do the beak and the eyes until I've sewn the wings on, because I feel like it was super fiddly. I had to go back and rip it out and redo it and change the count because my one of his wings was right in the front. So that's why it took me a little extra time to make this one. I was trying to figure that out. I worked it out eventually, and so it wasn't a problem. But I think it might have been my fault because the way they talked about the eye placement was confusing to me. Um, they said like you had to put a marker in one spot, and then they said count a certain number of stitches to the right of it, and that's where you put the first eye. But I didn't know if they meant when the head was flipped right side up or upside down, because you're crocheting it upside down. So I might have done it the opposite way. So that might have been operator error, but I figured it out. So it also, I think something else that was a little confusing for me, that it wasn't very clear in the instructions that on the tail and the comb they do, like, to make the little like bumps on the comb, they do like a double crochet, a triple crochet, and then a double crochet. I It wasn't very clear to me and apparent that it had to be in the same stitch, but that was easy to figure out because I went back and I was able to do the count. Overall, it was super cute. I'm so happy with the pattern. I would do it again. It took me 3 hours and 58 minutes. I didn't sit down for the whole 4 hours. I just had a stopwatch just to see how long it would take to crochet it. Sorry, I said knit. I think I'll be a lot faster last time or next time, because I think I had to figure out some of the pattern. I think next time it would crochet up so fast. Um, and I literally used every gram of yarn in this skein. It was a 90-yard skein, 170 grams. Next time I would definitely make sure I had extra yarn. And I absolutely love the colors and the way he turned out. I think he's a little off center a little bit in spots, but he's tiny. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's got this cute little tail. I love the colors. I loved all those choices. Like I said, next time, because it's for a little one, I would embroider the eyes on. I didn't want to do that this time because I'm not so good at that and I want to practice a little. So might do a video of that kind of practice. But he was so much fun and I'm so glad I did this. I can't wait to do another wheel spin again. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Try out this pattern, Cooper the chicken.